call is now being
This
recorded.
is Global Tel Link. You have a prepaid call from
Carlos Contreras.
an inmate at the Centinela State Prison, Centinela, California. This call and your telephone number will be monitored and recorded. You have a prepaid call. You will not be charged for this call. To accept this call, say or dial 5 now. Thank you for using Global Tel Link.
All right.
All right, thank you for calling back. So you end up in
Yeah.
the Arizona Department of Corrections. How was that experience there? Like
Oh man. Oh. It was a lot, whole way different structure, whole different system than California. Over there, they don't like people from California. You know, they call us the Cali boys over there. You know, and over there they have their own different mafia, their own different gangs, their own different, you know, leadership, you know, soldiers, and California boys over there. There's only like, you know, sometimes 15 to a yard, you know, imagine. And so like over there, when I would hang around with people from Cali, there was, the most I ever was like 18 of us in the whole yard out of like 600. So, you know, we would take care of each other. We would take care of each other. We were from all over California, and we all ran united. And you know, there wasn't no South Side, none of that. There was just, we're all Sureños. That was it. And you know, soldiers on call. And we were all crazy. We were all young, crazy, and we took care of each other over there. And they respected, you know, California a lot because they knew that, you know, we weren't playing. We were ready to start stabbing. We were ready to start doing whatever over there, just to keep that integrity and that we're from Cali, you know.
and in the Arizona system, so you were sentenced to five years. Did you have to do the whole 5 years, or was there only a certain percentage of time that you were required to do before you paroled?
O- Over there, they give you 89% of your time, every single sentence. So out of all that, I did 4 years and 2 months, and the rest of the ten months, you do them out on parole. And if you stay out there and you go on parole and you stay out the way, as soon as you're done with parole, you don't have no probation, no nothing. You killed your number. There's no ties after that, you know, just for those 10 months. But if you violate, they they send you back to prison for just 10 months. And as soon as you're done with your 10 months, your 5 years is done, completely done, you get out with no tail, no parole, no probation, no nothing like they do here in California. It's a lot different over there. Over there, when you do your time, you do your numbers, and that's it. You got to catch a whole new case to get more time. And they don't really have that, like the way they do it here in California, where they're constantly just keeping you on parole so you can mess up again and mess up again and mess up again, and like you can never get off. Yeah, it's way different. I still owed him 8 months over there.
Also, after you got out, you ended up just leaving the state.
Yeah, I got out and caught a case over here in Arizona. I mean, over here in Cali, in California. Yeah, got a 2-year bid in Avenal for, having a gun. Well, driving around with a gun.
And how long was that after that? How long did it take you to catch a new case once you came back to California?
8 months. Came back and about 8 months. 8 months. I was doing good for those 8 months, trying to stay out the way, trying to stay away from people that I know, and took about 8 months before I started messing around with the wrong people. And caught a case in San Diego for road rage over there. Some people were flipping me off, and got out the car. You know, the girl on the passenger side was the one flipping me off, calling me, wetback and all kinds of stuff. So I got out the car. I couldn't hit the girl, so I socked her dude that was driving. And I guess the people from the back, that like on the interstate or the freeway that were in back of us got the license plate. That's how I ended up catching a case up in San Diego for a little bit, and got 2 years in Avenal because I was getting ready to go to Missouri to traffic pounds of methamphetamines out there to Missouri, and so I bought a gun. And the other homeboy that was going with me, he had bought a gun. We were about to leave the next day, and I ended up getting pulled over with the gun, having a warrant from Arizona. So they busted me for the gun, gave me 2 years in Avenal, and I filed that I had caught a case in San Diego for the road rage. So they took me back to San Diego and ran my whole time concurrent. So I did those 2 years. I got to care of the San Diego road rage, and I took care of the gun charge, thinking that Arizona was going to come pick me up after my time. They never came and picked me up. They just said, don't ever come back to Arizona. So they released me out here after doing 2 years in 2008. I got out in 2005, did 2 years, like 2005, 2006, around there, beginning of 2006, did 2 years, got out in 2008, and I was only out for 3 months, and I caught the DeathRow case. So basically, all 2000, I was only out for 11 months total.
And looking back at your experience between the prison system in Arizona and in California, your first term, how different were they?
Oh, very different. Man, coming in as a kid in Arizona, I was very prideful. You couldn't tell me nothing. I was that kid, like you said, anything to, I'm taking off on you. I don't, like, if I felt disrespected, I'm not even going to go up there and tell you anything. I'm just going to try to come around from the side and just start taking off on you, or come with a piece and just start taking off on you. And I was real prideful, real crazy. I didn't have a bumper, you know what I mean, like, to where I was able to think and stop. And when I came to California, started doing time over here, I was more kind of like already like, I need to kick back. I need to stay out. So I was like just, plus in Avenal, it was like, nothing really happening over there. I was a level 2. So pretty much everybody goes home, you know what I mean? So it wasn't really much of a, like, gang life right there. It was just doing my time. So when I got out, it felt more easier to do this time here than it was in Arizona. And when I got out, just meeting up with the wrong people, my perspective was still the same. I just wanted to get out and start selling drugs again, start working. Try to balance 2 lives: work and sell drugs. And
This call and your telephone number will be monitored and recorded.
find somebody to settle down with. And it was hard. It's hard to do that.
And during this time, how was the relationship with you and your parents?
Man, they were when I was in Arizona, they were like worried for me because I was telling them the stories, like, sometimes they can crack off at any time. They can kill us in those yards. When I came back over here, they were more calm, because they didn't seem too stressed out. And the day that I got busted for the death penalty case, and every single time I got out, I went back home. So I was like 28 when I was out for the death penalty case. And the day that I got busted, I remember I was busted maybe like about a month. This second time she visits me in county jail in Indio. And on this case, and she tells me, you know what, Carlos, I'm glad that you're arrested. I'm glad that you're in there. And I'm like, I looked at her like confused, like, what do you mean you're glad that I'm arrested? I don't understand. Why? Why do you want me in there? And she goes, because at least I know now that you'll be safe in here and you're not out there like in the streets running around doing what you were doing. Because over there, I would stay up and I didn't know if you're going to come home alive. Because I was just looking at your face. and knowing that you were on that shit, and knowing how you were coming, knowing the things you were saying, like, at least I know when you're in prison, you're safe. And so that kind of hit me, you know what I mean? Like the stuff, like that gave me that realization of what I've been putting my mom through all these years. And it opened me up, you know, kind of made me realize, like, I started thinking back, like, man, I hurt my mom so long, man. Like, out of all her siblings, I was the one that probably stressed her out the most, and I didn't see it because I was selfish. I didn't see it because I was too busy running around, and my mom was always there. She's always been there for me through it all, visiting me everywhere. My mom and my dad, and they would tell me, "Where's your friends at now? Huh? Where's your so-called your camaradas, your gang members? Huh? Where are they at? I'll always be your best friend," my mom told me. "I'll always be here for you through it, through everything, and even through this one, the death penalty. Also, even through this one, I'm still gonna be there for you." And she has.
And right now, you mentioned your death penalty case. Can you take us back to that day? You know, the events, what happened? What was that day like? Like, what happened? Like, I mean, you woke up that day. Were you thinking about violence? You know, taking somebody's life. What was that day like?
Man, that day when I woke up, I had to come up with some money. That's that was the whole gist of everything, because during that time in 2008, there was those boxes, the uh, on demand, you know, direct TV, right? Those boxes that they sell, right? And so I had came across these filters that connect to the back of a box. That when you send a signal from the remote to the cable box, and from the cable box it sends a signal to the cable company. Well, those filters that you would put onto it catches the signal, and it keeps it from charging you the movies you were ordering. So I was like free on demand. And I knew the guy that worked for Time Warner Cable, and he's the one that gave me that filter. He goes, "These they send me these from the company. I'm not supposed to have them, but here you can have them." And during that time, I was giving him, you know, helping him with some favors with some girls that I know that work at strip clubs and, you know, dance from.
This call and your telephone number will be monitored and recorded.
That's how I ended up meeting this guy from Time Warner. You know, plus I was selling dope, and when he gave me those filters, I gave one to my dad's house. I gave one to my brother, one of my older brothers, and one to the Connect where I used to pick up my drugs. So because he gave me 3 plugs, so I plugged them all up to the boxes, and they ordered all these movies for like about a month. And then my dad, I remember I came home, my dad showed me the receipt for the cable. And I would tell him, "It's all good, Dad. You know, these are, I know the guy from, you know, Time Warner. He's not going to lie to me. You know, it's all good. You know, they'll make it right." And he even came to the house and ordered some movies just to make sure that I plugged it all in right and everything when he was buying dope one time. And so I'm thinking everything's legit. My dad gets the bill for $900 and some dollars. And I was like, he's telling me, "Get the hell out of the house." And I'm like stressed out. I'm on parole. I'm getting kicked out because that guy lied to me. So now I took it as he was trying to play me, disrespect me, and I got some guns, and I went looking for him. I tried to hostage him from his job, and I couldn't because there was cameras everywhere. And so, you know, because I was gonna take him to the bank and tell him get all that money out, so he could pay my dad's bills, and then not let alone
You have 60 seconds remaining.
not let alone my brothers and the Connect that also got those filters. And so I ended up going to his house and that night, and I tried shooting him, you know, through the sliding glass door. I tried shooting him, and I killed his dog. I ended up killing his dog, and I took off running. So Next thing you know, I'm looking from across the street through a scope. The guy's still alive. So I was like, oh, that's I'm carrying out the dog. So, he got away. He's the one that got away, but they lit the fuse, and I needed to come up with some money, and that's how I ended up going on this crime spree. And that's kind of like what ended up into the things that I was doing before I got busted.